The Stork is the second segment of the fifth episode of the third season of Rugrats, and this starts off with Angelica asking the question that every parent dreads: where do babies come from? And Charlotte and Drew plan on telling her the truth, but on the spur of the moment, Drew tells her they come from Storks. And for the first time ever, it made me think that's a fair enough lie, but why do children not then question how the baby gets into the mummy's tummy? I never really questioned that until now. It's not a very well fabricated lie. However, she learns or believes that they come from stork eggs, and she passes this information on to the babies, and Tommy decides that he'd actually quite like a baby brother. So they go in search of a stork egg, and they find a bird in a tree, and somehow manage to get down an egg from the bird's nest, and they rather sweetly take care of this egg, and Chuckie names it Milton, which I thought was a pretty cute name, Milton Pickles. They take care of this egg. Meanwhile, the adults are watching a sports game, and Stu and Drew are in the kitchen cooking with eggs, as it happens. And this egg goes on quite a journey. It's definitely a very tough egg. I believe it would have broken pretty quickly with what they were doing with it, but never mind. There is one very cute moment where they get some loo roll and put it in the back of a toy truck and make a little bed for Milton, and it's so cute. But Angelica comes along and destroys everything, basically. Not the egg, but destroys what the babies are doing. And I don't remember this episode from my childhood, and I genuinely didn't know what the outcome of this episode would be. I was really curious to find out what would happen with Milton, if they'd ever find out the truth about babies, and I will say I think the way it developed was pretty good. It kind of feels a bit flat as an ending, but at the same time, I can't think of a better way to round off this narrative. I feel like this was probably the best option, short of, the babies directly learning about, intimate relationships and things, which I think would be a little bit too much. Susie's involvement, though, I thought was pretty mysterious, but pretty good, very timely as well. And it definitely suggests that maybe the episode would have played out differently had she been there the whole time. But I like the fact it was Phil, Lil, Tommy, and Chuckie, and little Milton, of course, Milton the egg. It was a good episode. It was unpredictable. I didn't know what was going to happen with it. You absolutely need to suspend disbelief with this because there's so much that just wouldn't be possible or practical in real life. But other than that, it is pretty good fun. And one of my favourite moments is where Chuckie jokes, this is early on in the episode, Chuckie jokes that if they weren't babies, they could just call up the stork and get an egg. And then the others look at him as if to say, good idea. And then he just says, I'll get the screwdriver. Interestingly, the screwdriver hasn't been that important to this point. In my memory, Tommy always had his stew driver, as he called it. But I think he's had it a couple of times, and I don't even know if he's named it yet. I don't know if he said the word stew driver, but he definitely did. Unless he just did that in one episode, and I had it on VHS and watched it a lot. But in my memory, the screwdriver was a really important part of their everyday, so either I'm misremembering it or it becomes more prominent in episodes later on. Time will tell, but either way, for now, The Stork is a pretty well-written and unpredictable episode and might help to somewhat answer where babies come from, but I still want to know, once you get the stork egg, how does it get inside the mummy's tummy? They did not provide an answer, and I want to know.